Alright, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and hit the login button in the upper right hand corner, and that's going to log us in. So I'm going to punch in my email, or my username and my password. Don't forget that, you guys. But even if you do, you can go ahead and hit this lost your password button and we can reset it for you pretty easily. So now this brings us to our membership portal, and you can see there's not a whole lot here. We'll probably add an instructional video or two, but we're firm believers in simple is better. You know, so many products today are so overcomplicated that it becomes nearly impossible to use, and so we like to keep things simple. So go ahead and click the Equiscan Deal Finder button up here on the menu bar, and that is going to bring you to our Deal Finder portal. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take just a few minutes before we really dive into this and explain to you guys how Equiscan actually works. So what we're going to do is we're going to go over here and I'm going to show you a few things. So how does Equiscan Deal Finder actually work? Well, let's say you guys have a sold property, or let's say there is a sold property. Let's say this is a 2-bedroom or a 3-bedroom, 2-bath property with 1369 square feet, built in 1984, sold for $182,000. So we've got this sold property. Let's say it sold, 1 or 2 months ago. Now, let's say a quarter mile away, less than a quarter mile away, there is another property. This one's actually for sale. This property is 3 beds, 2 baths, 1427 square feet, built in 1983. So very similar property, except this one is for sale, active on your market for $139,000. Now what we have here is we have two properties, apples to apples. Now you see these are nearly identical properties, nearly identical square feet, built-in year, nearly identical beds and baths. And what this is showing us is that we've got $43,000 spread in this for sale property, and we have an active comp, a comparable that an appraiser is going to use to value your property if you end up buying this property number 2, literally right down the road. And this is huge. These are the kind of properties we love to find as investors. And there's, plenty of reasons why a property like this might be for sale for such a low price. Maybe it needs repairs. Maybe it doesn't show well. Maybe they're motivated to sell. They got a job in a new city and need to sell their house fast. There's plenty of reasons why a property like this might be on the MLS. And some of you guys might be thinking, man, do properties really exist with this much spread? And I can guarantee you they absolutely do. I live in a city with 100,000 people, less than 100,000 people actually, and we are constantly finding deals with Equiscan. So can you imagine how many deals you guys would find? Some of you guys that live in bigger cities, Atlanta, Sacramento, all these different, these larger cities that have so much more inventory to work with. So that's the basic idea, is that this is how Equiscan works. Now, what do you guys need to actually use this platform? Well, if you guys are on the Pro plan, you need absolutely nothing, because all the data that this scanner needs, which is it needs sold properties and it needs active properties. If you guys are on the Pro plan, you need absolutely nothing, because we actually have a live feed into the MLS in various cities where we pull all of that data on a daily basis. Now, this is only available in select cities, so if it's not available in your city yet, we're continually growing our reach and how many cities we have access to. But if it's not available in your city, that's where the basic plan comes in. And there are only 2 things that you guys will need for this to work, even if the Pro plan isn't available in your area. That's going to be an actives list and a solds list. And you guys can get this. Any real estate agent can get you these lists. Or if you're a real estate agent yourself, you can easily get these lists yourselves. Now, if you're working with an agent that maybe isn't quite as tech savvy and doesn't quite know, how to get these lists in the format that we need, we've also created a companion video for you guys. Just show this video to your real estate agent or watch it yourself if you are an agent, where I'll actually walk you guys through in one of our MLSs or one of our partners' MLSs, how to create this list, how to export it, and how to send it, so that once you go through the creation of this, it literally takes less than 60 seconds to send and create all the lists you need on a daily basis. So that's how Equiscan Deal Finder works. So now that we've kind of gone over that, I'm going to go back to our list section here, and what we have here is we have our our deal finder homepage, really, if you will. So what I'm going to do is you can see I've already created a few lists here, but I'm going to walk us through just how this process works so that you guys can see real time with me how you would import these lists. Now this is going to be for the basic plan. If you guys have the pro plan, it's going to be a lot different, but it's going to be way even easier than it is now. So I'm going to go ahead and hit the import new list button. And what this is going to do is it's going to ask me to name my list. So I'm going to call this Andrew's third list. And I'm going to hit the next button. So now it's going to ask me to import my active properties list. I've got that here, actives.csv, and I'll upload a list very similar to this so that you guys can kind of upload it yourself and follow along if you'd like to learn how this works. I'm going to hit the next button, and what it's going to do now is it's actually going to ask us to match up the data from the file that we have with the field name in the software. And we've tried to make this software as intelligent as possible so it's able to identify most of these data items. A few it's not able to identify, like the address field here, so I'm going to have to punch this in manually. Some of your MLSs may just have an address column where it just says the address of the property. My local MLS isn't that nice, so I actually have to break it up by street name, direction, prefix, and all that. But this is, so we got number, prefix, direction, and then, oh, here we go. I made a mistake here. Street suffix. There we go. Street number, street direction, street name, street suffix. There we go. That's what we're looking for. So I'm going to go to bathrooms, select total bathrooms. That's what this field is looking for. Total bedrooms, total bathrooms. So really what you're doing is you're telling our software, you're telling the software, this is each data point in your list, this is what it correlates to. Now I'm going to do the same thing with the solds. I'm going to upload my solds data file, hit the open button, and then hit next. And it's going to ask me to do the exact same thing, remap the fields if necessary. It's going to try and predict as many of them as possible. As you can see, most of them are filled in here. We're going to have to do the address again, which will just take a moment here. Street number, street direction, street name, and then street suffix. Go down here to bathrooms. I'm going to go and punch that in as well. Total bathrooms. So, and you see there's a few blank areas here, number of garages or a swimming pool. If you live in, Phoenix, Arizona, you're going to need to make sure the swimming pools match, and you would just map that to the field here. We don't necessarily need to do that in our market, so I'm going to go ahead and skip that for now and hit the next button. Now it's just going to ask, hey, confirm that these fields have been mapped correctly. Yeah, everything looks pretty good. I'm going to hit confirm. Now this is where the magic really starts to happen. So it's loading, it's uploading these lists, and you can see down here at the bottom it says geocoding. Now what it's doing here is it's taking the actives list and the solds list that we just uploaded, and it is running all sorts of calculations on both of these lists. It's comparing the price, the sales price, the sold prices of the items on your sold list, bed bath count, square feet of the properties. It's comparing all these data points, and it's finding properties that are apples to apples matches, just like in this example that I showed you guys earlier. It's finding these apples to apples matches right now, and it's actually mapping all these properties on a digital map as well. So when this is finished geocoding, we will be able to pull up a map and see the property in question when it finds deals, and also what the comps are. So you not only get properties that have a ton of equity built in, but you've got your comps right there that an appraiser will use to set the final value for your property. So as you can see, we're already a little over half done. This is going to take just a few more moments. Now you probably won't have as many solds on your sold list when you guys do this. I actually recommend having fewer solds. You don't want to go too far back, and it actually provides less resources from the platform. You'll be able to scan faster. But we'll just go ahead and wait a few moments for this to finish processing, and then I'll continue the demonstration for you guys. Alright, so it looks like it finished geocoding. Now, this is really where the magic starts to happen. So I'm going to go over here, Andrew's third list, and I'm going to click the scan button. And what this is going to do is this is going to open up our criteria page. So this is where I set, what age difference do I want between my sold and my for sale? What square footage spread do I want? What distance spread do I want? And what minimum profit spread do I want? Do I want to not even look at deals with less than $40,000 equity? $50,000? I'm going to leave it default at $30,000 for now. We also have some more fields here. So if you want the subdivisions to match, the schools to match, the pools to match, that might be more applicable in really hot areas where, a pool will substantially, like every house has a pool. Every house has garages. You may need to do that in different cities, but I'm just going to leave it all default for now. Age spread 5, square feet 200, and distance 1/2 mile, and I'm going to hit the scan button. So now what happened is it just pulled the number. We've got 28 properties that are within 5 years of each other, 200 square feet spread, 1/2 mile away, and a minimum of $30,000 in profit that stands to be made here. So I'm just going to go ahead and sort by the most profitable. You can see the very first one has $80,000 of potential profit right here. This stuff is nuts, you guys. Like, this is such a powerful platform. And let's just go ahead and click the details button, and I'll show you guys what this property looks like. Now, you see it opens up this map view where you click these buttons here, and it'll show you this is the subject property that we're looking at. It's for sale for $109,000. The property, the comparable is sold for $184,000. Now, can you guys see if these two properties are apples to apples? 3 years difference, same beds, same baths, similar square footage, how this is a crazy, crazy steal of a house to get. $109,000. This is $80,000 in equity that you guys could pick up just like that. I'm going to go ahead and click the checkbox on this, and you can see the more houses that I check, it's actually going to real-time adjust the average price per square foot, the average ARV over here in this box here, and this is really where you can start digging in and finding the deals that are going to make you guys the most money. Now, does this mean that this house is guaranteed a deal? Not necessarily, because you always want to go in here and make sure, hey, does it cross a major freeway? Now, if this was our subject property and our comp was over here, that wouldn't work so well, because oftentimes you cross freeways and it's not really a true comp. So you kind of have to know what you're looking for, but and you still want to, drive by this property, make sure that there's, nothing too crazy going on. But in fact, a lot of the time, these kind of properties are going to need a lot of work or a little bit of work. Maybe they just don't show well. Maybe the seller's just motivated to sell and they want to move cities. And these are the kind of deals that as investors, we can make the most money in. So this is definitely a deal. I would write this down. I'd probably drive by this house and see if it's something I want to invest in. But as you guys remember, we have 27 more properties to look at. So this one here between $62,000 and $92,000 spread, because it found 2 matches. So I'm going to go ahead and hit the details button. And over here we're going to see, wow, look at that. So we have one subject right here. This one sold for is on sale for $174,000. This one sold for $267,000, literally just down the road. This you can't make this stuff up. This one here's another one for sale for $237,000. And you see, these are the comps because they're apples to apples, same beds, same baths, almost identical year built, almost identical square footage. These are the houses that an appraiser is going to use to actually get the value of this property. Once this property looks identical to these other two, because like I said, a lot of times these properties, they need a lot of work, but these are what we call investor specials. These are the best kind of properties to have. We run into properties other people run out of because, they might need a little bit of work, but I mean, when you've got between $60,000 and $90,000 in spread to work with, let's say you had to put $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 into this property to make it sell, you're still making $40,000 on the back end. So that's just a quick example of how powerful this platform really is. And you can see we've still got 26 more entries to go. And this is literally just a list of properties that my realtor sent just a few weeks ago. These are real properties in our market, in our area, that I'm probably going to take a few minutes to spend, looking through these and seeing if there's any deals. So this is just an example of how you guys can use Equiscan Deal Finder to make a ton of money for yourselves. We're going to have continual updates to the platform as well, so definitely stay tuned. We'll make sure we send out product updates and everything for you guys every time we add new cities. We'll make sure we let you guys know, especially for the professional plan. But I hope you guys can see, based on this, how easy it is to make a ton of money without spending a ton of time. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in our next video.